How to understand. Fast English. Mastering the speed of native speakers. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Have you ever found yourself completely lost when listening to native English speakers? They talk so fast, their words blend together, and before you can even process the first sentence, they've already moved on to the next. It can feel frustrating, but don't worry, you're not alone. Many English learners struggle to understand fast speech, especially because textbook English is often slower and clearer than real-life conversations. But here's the good news. You can train your ears to understand fast English, just like how athletes train their bodies to run faster. Today, I'll share practical strategies that will help you catch every word, recognize common speech patterns, and finally feel confident when listening to native speakers. Plus, I'll tell you an inspiring story about a student who struggled with fast English, but overcame it with determination. Let's dive in. What is the secret to understanding fast English? Why does English sound so fast? The main reason is that native speakers don't pronounce every word separately. Instead, they use techniques like connected speech, words linked together like, what do you want? What do you want? Reduced sounds. Some sounds are dropped, like I'm going to, I'm gonna, contractions and informal phrases. Instead of I would have, you'll often hear I'd have. If you've only learned English from books or slow classroom speech, real-life conversations might feel like a completely different language. But don't worry. Here's how you can train yourself to understand fast English. Step 1. Start with slow, then increase speed. A big mistake learners make is jumping straight into listening to fast-paced movies or podcasts without preparing their ears. Instead, start with slow English, then gradually speed it up. Listen to audiobooks or news channels that use clear pronunciation, like BBC Learning English or TED Talks. Once you feel comfortable, try listening at 1.25x or 1.5x speed to get used to faster speech. Challenge yourself by switching to native speaker conversations from YouTube, movies, or real-life interviews. The goal is to train your brain step by step so it can process English faster over time. Step 2. Train your ears with everyday conversations. A great way to get used to fast English is by listening to natural conversations between native speakers. Podcasts like The English We Speak, BBC, introduce real-life expressions. TV shows with casual dialogue, like Friends or The Office, are perfect for picking up informal speech. Vlogs and interviews on YouTube let you hear different accents and real-world speaking styles. At first, you might only understand 50%, but that's okay. Keep listening, and your brain will start recognizing words automatically. Step 3. Shadowing. Repeat what you hear. One of the most powerful techniques to improve listening is shadowing. Listening to a sentence and repeating it exactly as you hear it. Pick a short audio clip, like a TED Talk or a podcast. Play one sentence and pause. Try to repeat it exactly with the same rhythm and pronunciation. Keep practicing until you can match the speaker's speed. This technique trains your ears and mouth at the same time, making fast English easier to understand and speak fluently. Step 4. Learn common fast speech patterns. Native speakers often shorten phrases or use slang that can confuse learners. If you recognize these patterns, you'll catch words much faster. Gonna, going to, I'm gonna call you later. Wanna pack want to? Do you want to go out? Let me see that. Dunno. Don't know. I don't know what happened. A learner from Japan, Keiko, once struggled with fast English. She always said, I don't know, but never understood when native speakers said, I don't know. After learning common reductions, she suddenly started catching more words in conversations. Follow English YouTubers and vloggers. They speak naturally, helping you adjust to fast speech patterns. Pro tip: if you struggle to understand a TV show, turn on English subtitles first, then watch again without them to test yourself. Let me tell you the story of Carlos's how he mastered confusion to confidence. Carlos, a university student from Mexico, had always dreamed of watching Hollywood movies without subtitles, to truly enjoy them the way native speakers do. But every time he tried, the dialogue flew past him like a speeding train. The words blurred together. The actors spoke too fast, and he felt completely lost. No matter how much he had studied English in school, real conversations felt like a whole different language. He could recognize a few words, but by the time he processed them, the scene had already changed. It was frustrating. He often thought to himself, maybe I'll never understand fast English. But one day, Carlos decided that instead of giving up, he would train his ears step by step, just like an athlete trains for a marathon. He started small, listening to slow podcasts designed for English learners. He trained his ears by carefully following each sentence, repeating what he heard. He gradually increased the speed, first to normal speed, then to slightly faster. At first it was difficult, but his brain slowly started adapting. He practiced shadowing daily, imitating native speakers word for word. He stood in front of his mirror, copying their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. He studied connected speech patterns, learning that phrases like, "What do you mean?" sound more like, "What do you mean?" in real conversations. Months passed, and Carlos remained consistent. Then, something incredible happened. One evening, he decided to challenge himself and play his favorite action movie without subtitles. At first, he doubted himself, but as the movie went on, he realized he could understand most of it. The fast, confusing English that once seemed impossible now sounded clear, natural, and familiar. It was as if his ears had been unlocked. That night, Carlos felt an overwhelming sense of achievement.